I found it by accident. It was 2 in the morning and I was scrolling through old Minecraft survival videos. But then this one channel caught my eye. No banner, no profile picture, just a name. Red Screen 14. Only 5 videos, barely any views, uploaded over a span of 10 days, 8 months ago. The thumbnails were dark, unedited, almost incomplete. Most of the titles were generic too. Let's Play Episode 1, Cave-Based Exploration, Where Did He Go? But something about that last one made me pause. I clicked on it, and I really wish I hadn't, because that's when I met Dylan. The first video opened normally enough. Dylan, the player, spawned into a new survival world. He's cheerful, awkward, probably 15, maybe younger.
Yo, what's up guys? It's Dylan, and me and Aiden are starting a new survival series. Say hi, dude.
A pause. Then another voice, crackly and low quality. Yo. And then the game begins. They punch trees, laugh, argue about the house placement, typical stuff. But something felt off. Not in the game, not at first, but in the way the video was edited. Every time Aiden spoke, there was a strange click in the audio, like a tape being spliced together. At first, I brushed it off as bad recording gear, but the next video was different. It opens with Dylan mining deep underground. No intro, no music, just the sound of stone being dug away, block by block. He's talking again, but it's quiet, muttered almost.
I think Aiden already went down this tunnel.
But we never hear Aiden, not once. There are moments where Dylan pauses like he's waiting for someone to respond, but the silence stretches out. Then at 4 minutes 37 seconds, he says it.
Dude, stop ignoring me, it's not funny.
That line stuck with me, because if you look closely at the debug screen, Dylan's the only player online. But I kept that in the back of my mind and clicked on to the next video, episode 2. At first, it felt normal. The player who we now know as Dylan was in a forest biome talking to the camera like any other YouTuber would. He joked about his last death, chopped some wood, crafted some tools, but he kept referring to his friend.
Aiden's already set up a base by the ocean.
He said,
I'm gonna catch up to him today.
And for a few minutes, it looked like a totally regular survival series. Pretty basic, easy to follow, but then the mood shifted. When Dylan got to the supposed base location, there was nothing there. No house, no player, no signs of life. Just a single birch sapling on a dirt block. It was weird, but he brushed it off.
Maybe Aiden moved. I'll check the other side of the cove.
He said, but I noticed something odd. He never showed Aiden's name in chat. There was no multiplayer chat at all, not even an Aiden joined the game at the start of the video. That didn't make sense. Minecraft always logs when you're on a multiplayer server, unless it wasn't multiplayer. And if that's true, if this wasn't a server, then who exactly was Aiden? Dylan kept referring to him like he was real, like someone watching would already know him. But I checked episode 1 again. There's no other voice, no name, no second player. Just Dylan talking to himself, or worse, talking to someone that never existed. The rest of episode 2 only made things more uncomfortable. Dylan spent most of the episode looking for Aiden. He wandered the shoreline, peeked into a cave or two, all the while narrating to the camera like everything was fine. We were the crazy ones. But there were these little gaps in his commentary, moments where he'd pause for just a bit too long, like he was expecting someone to reply. Sometimes he'd even nod, as if answering a question nobody asked. Then he'd just keep going. A few more minutes into the video, he finally finds Aiden. He walks into a clearing, looking directly into the camera and says,
There you are, I was starting to think you got lost.
But the camera isn't facing anyone. No voice, no name tag, nothing. Just trees, wind, empty space. He sets up camp besides nothing. He places 2 beds, 2 furnaces, 2 chests. Then he lays in his bed, looking towards the other one like he's waiting for someone to get in. And that's how the episode ends, at him trying to find someone who's not even there. I don't know how to explain the feeling that gave me. It was just eerie. It was hollow, like something deeply wrong was happening behind the screen. But it wasn't loud or gory or obvious, just a slow, quiet decay. I checked the upload date, September 3rd, 2024, same day as the first episode. But that's not the part that got to me. No comments, no likes, and most importantly, no views, not even one. That shouldn't be possible. YouTube doesn't let you see a video without ticking the view count up, but it sat there, frozen at 0, as if it had just been uploaded seconds ago. I refreshed, nothing changed. I told myself it was just a bug, or some visual issue. That's what I wanted to believe, but deep down, I already knew something was wrong with these videos, with this channel, with Dylan. And I wasn't even close to the worst of it yet. I moved on to episode 3, and I really shouldn't have. The video opens with Dylan already in his base, which now looks half finished. Cobblestone walls, a small farm, some more chests scattered around. He's quieter this time, more tired, like someone who's been running on fumes for days. He mentions Aiden less, but something else catches my eye. His inventory. There's a sword labeled as friends in his hotbar. This was odd, but not thinking much of it, I continued on. The video then leads into Dylan exploring a cave, but something is different. The cave sounds are distorted, whispers barely audible, like the game's audio is glitching or bending around him. Suddenly, the screen flickered, static, crackling like a whisper, and for a split second, a figure appeared behind Dylan. An empty silhouette with glowing white eyes, as if watching, but never seeing. I froze. I replayed it again. The figure's there, every time, in the same spot, but Dylan never turns around. Why wouldn't he notice? The video cuts before he can react. I checked the comments this time. Nothing. The channel was still silent. Empty. No subscribers, no activity besides these few cryptic uploads from 2024. It was as if Dylan's world was stuck in time, forgotten. I kept digging. That's when I found the next upload, episode 4, and this was where the truth began to unravel. Episode 4 opens with a black screen of death. The loading bar creeps across the bottom, but then the screen cuts to Dylan's character, standing at the edge of a huge yawning pit. The ground is jagged, carved out as if something massive clawed through the earth. Dylan's voice was low, exhausted.
This is where it started,
He says,
where Aiden disappeared.
He peered over the edge. The camera shakes slightly, like a handheld recording. Suddenly, white eyes flash beneath the darkness. No model, no shape, just glowing empty eyes staring back. Dylan stumbles back, breathing hard. He turns to the camera.
You don't understand. Aiden wasn't real, he never was. I'm the only one who ever played this world. But it feels like something was here, watching.
The rest of the video is a frantic escape through tunnels, with the whispering getting louder, echoing in the darkness. Dylan tries to light the way, but his redstone torches don't do much justice. Then, a few minutes later, the whispers stop. The screen goes black. The video ends. I stared at the screen for what felt like hours. If Aiden was never real, then who was Dylan talking to all this time? And what was a figure with white eyes? The deeper I got into this, the less certain I was about what this truly was. I checked the channel again. Last active 8 months ago. No replies to any messages, no explanation. But there was one last clue. A link to a file titled readme.txt, hidden in the video's description. It continued a single line. Sometimes the friend you lose is the one you never had. That's where the truth hit me. Dylan's friend was a ghost, an echo, a part of him that vanished into the game's endless void. I couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't just a story about a missing friend. It was something much darker, something that blurred the lines between the game and reality. So I dug deeper, following every breadcrumb left behind by this abandoned channel. Somewhere buried in the description of episode 2, the video where Dylan first noticed the glitches, there was a cryptic timestamp, 3 minutes and 15 seconds. I scrubbed the video exactly to that time, and that's when I heard it. The audio warped. A voice whispered through the static.
Don't trust the friend.
I played it again slower. Don't trust the friend. Who was Dylan really talking to? Was Aiden a figment, or something else pretending to be real? Curiosity pulled me further into the abyss. The final video, episode 5, showed Dylan digging down beneath his base, drawn to a strange glow deep underground. His movements were frantic, almost desperate. He dug as deep as he could into the ground, lit only by the faint moonlight suspended above. And there, at the bottom of the world, was a single massive tree. Its trunk was gnarled, twisting upwards like fingers clawing at the sky. But there was no leaves, just dead empty space where the bush should have been. Dylan approached cautiously, reaching out to touch the bark. The moment his hand made contact, the screen shattered into static. When the image came back, Dylan was nowhere to be seen. The only sound was faint crackling of white noise, slowly fading into silence. That was the last video on the channel. No more uploads, no sign of Dylan, just an empty world swallowed by darkness. I stared at the blank screen for a long moment, the weight of everything sinking in. Dylan's disappearance was no longer just part of the game, it felt real, like a digital ghost story crossing over into my world. But why had this channel been left alone for this long, and why did no one else notice? I checked the comments once more, and that's when I realized I actually missed one. A chain of comments left by a user named Silent Watcher had posted repeatedly cryptic messages such as,
"The friend is the shadow of the player. The game remembers what you forget. Look beneath the roots."
What did Silent Watcher mean? I had to know. I clicked through their profile and found they'd been commenting on dozens of other obscure Minecraft videos. Some suggested that they were a fan. Others hinted they might be more than just a viewer, maybe someone involved. Then I found a link in one of their comments to a Discord server, a quiet place dedicated to digging into lost Minecraft worlds and forgotten stories. I joined it immediately. The channel was full of people obsessed with the unexplainable. And that's when I found one member suggesting a chilling theory. What if Aiden wasn't a friend at all, but a shadow of Dylan's mind trapped in the code? I was pulled into this theory for hours, unable to stop thinking about it. The more I thought about it, the more the pieces started fitting together. But maybe they were just forcing meaning where none existed. But the strangest detail came from a user named Rootfinder. They claimed to have found an Easter egg hidden deep in one of their older videos. A single frame flashed, too fast to catch on first watch. I downloaded episode 5 and played it frame by frame. And at exactly 12 minutes and 37 seconds, a word appeared for a split second on the screen. Remember. Why would Dylan, or whoever was behind this, hide a message like that? I rewound and slowed the clip down over and over. It was the same frame, a close-up of the weird tree's trunk. But now I could swear the bark formed letters, faint but deliberate. Remember. What was I supposed to remember? I began searching for any clue that might explain the message. It felt like this was the key to unlocking everything. Then I found it. Buried in the file's metadata was a short text string. Not part of the video itself, but attached to the file. Something no casual viewer would ever notice. He never existed. The words hit me like a cold punch to the face. Aiden never existed. All this time, Dylan's friend was a ghost, a program, something written into the world Dylan built, but not real. It was the moment everything twisted in my head. If Aiden was never real, then who or what was Dylan really playing with? The idea that he'd been talking to a ghost in the game, or worse, a part of himself he couldn't see, it was haunting. I went back through every video, watching Dylan's interactions closely. The way he talked to Aiden in the chat, the way Aiden seemed to know things no one else did, how Dylan's reactions weren't just friendly, they were scared, confused, sometimes desperate. In episode 4, Dylan's voice breaks as he asks Aiden if he's really there. The response, silence. Then the chat message, "I'm always here." And that was when it clicked. Aiden wasn't just a friend, he was a shadow, a memory, a dark piece of Dylan's fractured mind trapped inside the world he built. But why? What had happened to Dylan that made him create a friend that had never actually existed? That's when I had stumbled onto a forum post from a few years ago. Buried under piles of random Minecraft nonsense. A user described a disturbing experience. Losing a friend, retreating into Minecraft to cope, and slowly reality slipping away. Could Dylan have been escaping his own grief, creating Aiden inside the game as a way to not be alone? I searched for anything about Dylan outside the game, social media, forums, anywhere he might have left a trace. Nothing. It was like he vanished from the world, just like Aiden. I kept watching the videos, looking for clues Dylan might have left behind for someone like me, a stranger stumbling onto his story months later. The last frame of episode 5 flickered again in my mind, the massive tree in the void, kind of glowing with emptiness. I realized the tree wasn't just a tree, it was a symbol, the root of the story itself. A representation of Dylan's lost connection to the world, growing alone in darkness, empty space. And then I understood the full circle. Dylan's story wasn't just about loss, It was about coming to terms with what's real, and frankly, what we hold on to in the darkness. So what happened to Dylan? Did he ever escape the void of grief? I don't know. But I do know this, his story, like the tree, is still out there, growing beneath the surface of Minecraft's endless world, waiting for someone to remember. And now, I'm watching too. I spent days combing through the channel, piecing together every frame, every message, every quiet moment Dylan left behind. The further I dug, the clearer it became that this wasn't just a game for him. It was a refuge, a prison, and maybe even a confession. In the final videos, Dylan's voice grows softer, his words slower. As if he's tired of fighting the invisible weight that's pulled him under, he starts leaving cryptic notes in chat, like messages for anyone who might follow.
If you find this, don't look for me. Some friends don't exist to stay. The world I built isn't safe anymore.
The last upload ends with Dylan staring into the void, that black endless space behind the glowing tree, and whispering,
I hope you find peace.
And then, silence. What remains after Dylan is gone? A game world frozen in time, a friend who was never there, and a story woven through the leaves of a glowing tree nobody else can see. This Minecraft story is more than a mystery, it's a mirror. A reminder that sometimes the most haunting things aren't monsters or glitches, but the spaces we carry inside ourselves. I'll keep watching, because somewhere beneath the blocks and pixels, there's a story that just won't let me go.